What's up, you guys? So the leader talking. I'm back with excerpt reading, and this is going to be a triple header. I'm going to be reading from 3 books from my book series. These books, first book is Starting Over. It takes place after What is Destiny. If you haven't read that, I suggest you read it before you read this book. And also the second book will be The Warrior Princess from Another Dimension, where Havaria and her family meet a visitor from another dimension. And finally, this one, Return of the Beast. This basically takes place after the Council of Five defeat an old nemesis who was trying to resurrect the Onyx of Darkness. Let's start. Okay, this basically tells the story of what happened after Marissa Winchester left Havaria with the family of the royal family of Laharia. This is basically what happens in Sanctuary, which is what is called Marissa's hideout. Let's read. With a beautiful blue crystal ball illuminating her secret headquarters underneath the continent of Deloria, she smiled as the one called Havaria sat down with the dark-haired older beauty and the elder man, having breakfast with them, playing and laughing. My daughter, she thought, smiling as her beautiful but furry white quadruped shape seemed to glow in the crystal's cool blue light, even in the shadowed area it had created to conceal her new form. She truly has turned her life around. I'm so proud of her. The human who was now an animal sighed wistfully. If only I could see you again, my sweet Havaria Winchester. You don't know it, but when King Goldmire gave you that name, I sent him the thought in a dream. Havaria truly is your real name. She knew her daughter had the power to read minds, but she also knew that the power was a matter of science. So underneath Deloria, the good news was she was safe from mind probes, as radiation waves from which all mind powers were derived, even her own daughters, and no matter how powerful, could not penetrate lead. So she had built her headquarters in Deloria underneath an abandoned field riddled with lead deposits. The bad news? Well, maybe the reason she had left Havaria and also her 2 sons with normal families to love them was that she wanted to protect all 3 of her children, the chosen 3 of Deloria, from the prophecy of the ultimate evil. Mr. Zastro? Mr. Zastro? The shadowed animal turned as the scene from her crystal ball faded, and once she stepped out of the shadows to answer the call, she revealed her beautiful form. She was now a fox with a neatly groomed yellowish-white fur coat, complete with a bushy-tailed streak with a fiery orange stripe. As Astral watched, a small quill leaped out of its inkwell on the desk against the far wall, turned itself upside down, and floated down toward the floor at her feet. As she had grown lonely within Sanctuary, as she now called her hideout, Astral, otherwise known as Marissa Winchester, had cast a spell to bring her riding quill to life, being helped along the way by her familiar, a beautiful white Delorian dove named Myrna, the only other flesh and blood entity in the entire complex. Is it time yet? Yes, asked the quill. Yes, Phil Quill, Astral answered. My daughter must have a normal life, and we shall grant her wish for her. She sighed wistfully. Even if it means I can never see her beautiful face in person. Very well, said Phil. So I take a letter for you? Yes, but where would you take it? Astral teased. Phil laughed as Astral followed him back to the desk. Taking him beside her big jaw, She leaped up onto the chair and placed a quill onto the desk. Then she eyed the stack of parchments at its corner and focused her powers. Instantly, one of the yellowed parchments floated from the sack and landed before them. "All right, Phil, take this down," Astral instructed. "My darling daughter," and she began to quote, "I congratulate you on your first victory over the forces of darkness and also for changing your destiny by accepting Princess Luan as your new apprentice. But it has occurred to me that education is just as important as family or magic. Therefore, I have conversed in a dream with Miss Angela Fairweather, principal of Castle Hill Middle School in Melania, and starting tomorrow, she will accept you into her school. You show great promise for the world and also for me, little Bavaria. May this new gift I bestow upon you today help you achieve your goal to live life among others as a normal child. You will need friends your age, not just guardians who will look after you. Please, use this gift of school wisely. Your loving mother, Marissa Winchester." After Phil Quill finished the closing and signature, Astral eyed the parchment and focused her powers. Instantly, it floated from the desk and rolled itself up, then magically grew a knotted red ribbon. Then Astral swiveled around in her chair and sang song, "Myrna!" At the mention of her name, a swirling portal of golden yellow light opened just a few feet away from the desk, and the DeLorean dove flew out and landed on the back of her chair. The dove was indeed the rarest of all, seeming to glow while emblazoned with the crest of Deloria, a capital letter D in Old English print, surrounded by the drawing of a sunburst. Astral used her powers to float the new letter to her familiar and said, "Take this to my daughter in Melania. She will understand when she sees you. And also, tell her I give her my love." "As you wish, my lady," the dove answered in a female voice. Then, taking the rolled parchment up in her beak, she flew out of sanctuary, back through the same portal of light she had used to enter. "My daughter," Astral thought again sadly. "If only you knew why I disappeared from your life after you were born." As a tear escaped her eyes, she pushed aside for the thought of possibly never seeing Bavaria again, and turned her attention toward a happier thought. Her daughter was about to go to school. So as you can see, why I called this story "Starting Over" is because Bavaria is starting her life over and gaining a new gift. Hopefully, she'll be able to use that gift wisely. Now let's continue. I will be reading from this book, Return of the Beast. I'll be reading an excerpt from there, and I hope you have read several books before that. Namely, the one before this, Passing the Torch. It tells the story of what happened, so you'll understand what happens here. Okay, this scene takes place in a popular establishment in Melania, Technos Cyberspace. I hope you enjoy hearing about it. Let's read. While midnight had descended upon Andalasia, noontime was just beginning in Melania, and 13-year-old Bavaria Winchester and her cross cousin, Princess Galatea, eyed the entryway of a medium brick building. Over the entryway was a sign that read, Technos Cyberspace. Remington and Nathaniel Winchester, Bavaria's brothers, and Galatea's other cross cousins, had left a note at the Palace of Melania, where Galatea had currently worked as a maidservant for Princess Luan, and her father, King Adamant, requesting that the rest of their team and family, known as the Council of Five, meet the boys at this very building. Well, this looks like the place, Galatea told her cousin. Wonder what this place is all about. I don't know, Hilaria said. I admit, I've been everywhere in Melania, but not here. It must have just opened. Then they stepped through the entryway. In an instant, they were greeted by an encouraging sight, as there were several children and teenagers laughing and playing with each other with either fun card games or board games. Others sat at tables, sipping drinks and eating all different forms of junk food, hamburgers, fries, nachos, and even hot dogs and potato chips. And then, Hilaria recognized a group of people sitting in the center of the room. One was an adult woman with dark hair, and the other were two were boys about her age. Luan! Hilaria called to the elder woman, and she and the boys looked up as the rest of the council joined them and sat down in 3 vacant seats. Remington smiled mischievously. Well, if it isn't our partners in crime, he joked. Or at least crime fighting. How did you guys find out about this place? Galatea asked the boys. We've both been coming here since vacation started, Nathaniel replied. He surveyed the area. Isn't this place cool? You can do anything here. Eat, chat, play the latest games. It's totally the ultimate summer hangout. Well, why did you call us here? We figured that since we're going to be saving the world together, Remedy and I wanted you guys to see what we're all about. Nice, Galatea remarked. Who's the main man here? That would be Tacna, Nathaniel replied. There isn't one person here she hasn't helped in a way. She's like the ultimate doer of good deeds. Before Galatea could respond, a woman with fuchsia pixie boy cut bob and matching lips approached the group, their table. Welcome to Tacna Cyberspace, she greeted them. I'm Tacna. What can I get you? Well, how about a banana berry smoothie? Hilaria prompted. Oh, that's easy, Tacna said cheerfully. You're Hilaria, right? Well, yes. How'd you know? Oh, I'm all about information. It's my business. Now, Tacna told her. Now, you're a master of illusory magic, right? A master of what? It means having the ability to create and control illusions, Hilaria explained. A master of what? Luan asked. It means having the ability to create and control illusions. Then she eyed Tacna again. Yes, that's exactly what I am. Well, how about you and your illusions entertain the crowd next week? Tacna suggested. We'll call it an audition. Sure, why not? Hilaria agreed. Tacna suggested. We'll call it an audition. Sure, why not? Hilaria agreed. Good, said Tacna. Be here on Friday at 7 to set up. I'll get your smoothie now. As Tacna turned on her heel, and left, Hilaria murmured to herself, Okay, I love her! I told you, that's Tacna, said Nathaniel. She can tell when someone is in trouble and when someone needs her help. But what if they don't want her help? Luan asked. She finds a way to get through to them, Remington replied. And ultimately, she's able to help them. She hasn't helped me yet, Galatea muttered to herself. Just then, Tacna came back with a various smoothie and handed it to her. Here you go, she said. Thanks, Hilaria responded. Then Tacna turned her eyes toward Galatea. Galatea Winchester, the sports buff, she greeted her. I'm surprised you're here set up at the open trials for the Millennia Wave. Millennia Wave, Galatea repeated. The best soccer team in the country. Tacna explained. Millennia Wave, Galatea repeated. The best soccer team in the country, Tacna explained. 3-time World Cup champions. Oh, I am so there, Galatea exclaimed. They're at the Mount Millennia soccer field, Tacna told her. You'd better hurry before all the positions are filled. Got it, said Galatea, and Tacna turned to leave. So as you can see, the Tacna in my story has a different lifestyle and a different personal and a different home in Melania. and she, as Nathaniel and Remington say, is the ultimate doer of good deeds. I hope you're enjoying this. Now let's continue. I'm sorry, it takes time to check out. It takes time to come up with an excerpt that I really want to read. That I really want to read. Okay, this takes place in the cave of the Oracle of Deloria. You may know him as Honest if you've read Race for the Rainbow. So I'm just going to give you a taste of. I'm just going to read an excerpt from what's going on in the cave of Deloria when the rest of the Fellowship of Light are convening on what to do after Nathaniel has been kidnapped and taken back to another dimension. What are we going to do? Marissa Winchester screamed in exasperation as she threw up her hands. Mother, would you calm down for a moment? Barry said gently. We have to be thinking rationally if we're to say Nathaniel. Rationally, Havaria? Marissa repeated skeptically. That pompous Boris she-devil of a fairy has taken Nathaniel to the magic dimension. We have to get there now. It won't do us any good to rush in there without a plan or knowing what we're up against, Luan told her. The remaining council members were at the Oracle's lair trying to formulate a plan. When the Oracle had told them about a dimensional anomaly directly where they had been unconscious, the team had rushed to Deloria Mountain immediately. Now they were thinking about how to locate Nathaniel without drawing the attention to the fact that they were the Council of Five. At least Nathaniel remembered to turn on the location function in his communicator, and they reassured him rather. He hasn't broken his communicator already, Remington muttered. Bright side, Remington, and Luan reminded him. We have to have faith in our family. I hope you're right, Remington murmured. I am right, Luan told him. Havaria, use the crystal ball's telemeters to search through the magical dimension. See if you can pinpoint where our melodious Nathaniel is. I'll start with a search of the magical dimension solar system grid, Havaria told her. I can narrow or widen it if necessary. And while Havaria is doing that, we better get to work on the solar manta ray. Marissa suggested. The transwarp drive needs to be recharged. And with that, Havaria went to work on the Oracle's crystal ball, while Marissa, Luan, and Remington went outside to recharge the transwarp drive on the solar manta ray. So as you can see, Nathaniel has been taken to the magical dimension against his will. And why has he been taken to the magical dimension against his will? I suggest you read my book and find out. So I hope you enjoyed this little triple header. And if you like what you see, please like, comment, and share this video. Also, if you haven't already, please subscribe. Don't forget to support the YouTube community. This is So Says the Leader signing off. Peace out.